Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX with me, Devika Chopra. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Sri Lanka and it's his first foreign leader to visit the country since Anura Kumara Dissanayake took oath as the Sri Lankan president. The visit, which focuses on defence, energy and maritime ties, will take forward India's neighbourhood-first approach. Sri Lanka has come a long way since the 2022 economic collapse, and the president has previously thanked India for the aid and support it provided after the crisis hit. India has given Sri Lanka an assistance of above $3.5 million and currently is also funding several projects such as the construction of the 60,000 houses and development of 25 districts. So what really are the big ticket expectations from Prime Minister Modi's visit to Sri Lanka? We take that conversation forward. Joining me on the broadcast is Mr. Nihal Abesinghe, the General Secretary of the NPP. Mr. Abesinghe, thank you so much for speaking with NewsX. I, of course, begin by asking you, how is the economic situation in Sri Lanka right now, sir?
We are trying to stabilize the issues that we had, and we have continued with the IMF agreement, and we have discussed with the IMF for certain changes within the agreement. So, and then we have made certain progressive activities during our during preparing this budget. So we believe that now we have been able to stabilize the crisis that we had, and now we have to wait for the next 4 years to see that how we can improve our economy.
All right, Mr. Abesinghe, this is the first time Prime Minister Modi is visiting Sri Lanka since your party took office. What are you hoping that this visit will help consolidate?
Certainly that in Sri Lanka and India, we were having a very long relationship culturally in the religious area and also in trade. So various ways that we have been having a very long-standing relationship. And due to its proximity, we have been traveling from and to. So I think this Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit will strengthen ties between Sri Lanka and India, and I hope the Sri Lankan India will be able to help Sri Lanka, progressing in the economic status as well as the developmental fields in the future.
Mr. Abesinghe, what do you make, sir, of the future role of Prime Minister Modi in India leading the voice of the Global South?
We are trying our best to rebuild the country after having a serious economic situations since 2002. So I think any country, whether it is India or any other friendly country, can help us in bringing investment here and to support the economy of Sri Lanka, and perhaps we can India can help us in the technically in various in areas, and also that capacity building, because Sri Lanka in the various sectors we need so improving our technology and strengthening our services. So basically, India can help us in technically as well as in economically to build up the country.
All right, Mr. Abesinghe, could you shed further light on how you perceive the economic assistance provided by India during challenging times?
Certainly, it was very useful and very helpful, specifically during the economic crisis. The India came forward, and then India gave us this, huge support during that period. So we were able to manage, though we had problems, we were able to manage that period. So we have overcome the issues, and certainly India was the I mean, the most helpful country in the region in that sense.
Ms. Abhisinghe, you are of course a scientist yourself. I want to ask you as well, what brought you into politics?
Actually, it's a long history because I was interested in politics during my student days, and I was actively engaged in student activities during my university days. So, I had the feeling that Sri Lanka should have a better political future. So I was looking for it for years, and then after retiring from my medical field, then I thought that I will start working with a progressive party to build the country. So this is how we manage during the last 6 7 years, and we were able to achieve the target, and now we are in the front seat.
I also want to understand from you, Mr. Abhisinghe, what are the goals then of the NPP for all Sri Lankans?
See, we want to stabilize the economy from this the crisis situation, and also build up our nation. We know that we have a huge loan to be paid back, paid back, and so therefore that the only aim is really to develop this country, and make sure that all Sri Lankan have peaceful, reasonably sound situation in the future.
Okay, speaking of loans, how do you perceive the role of China in your country?
China has been a long-term friend of the JVP. Being a leftist oriented party, so we are continuing that good relationship. And just like India, China has been supporting to the previous governments. So we continue to have that friendship. And no, as you know, our foreign policy is really to be good with all the nations in the world. So we will continue in that path. So we will keep in touch with the countries that are helpful and helping Sri Lanka. So we are continuing that friendship. That's our goal.
Ms. Abhisinghe, what are the economic challenges that remain?
Certainly, that we have at least 1/4 of our people economically not very their income is not very sound. So we first actually we have to make sure that the people living with hardships, specifically in the rural areas and the estate areas. So we have to support them. So that is why we discussed with the IMF to improve the benefits that they were gaining in the past. So we have improved the financial support to them, and we are trying to support them economically to build up their economic aspects. So we are trying to support the people who have been having hardships during the last couple of years. So that, and also we have to improve our industry, because that is the area that we can generate the income for our country. So we would like to expand the export items, what we have been having so far. And also we would like to have new areas to be open. So we invite all the countries to have investment in Sri Lanka, because now there is an opportunity that all investors to invest in Sri Lanka, because not like with the previous governments. Now we are very open, we are transparent, and we are very much against the corruption and the mismanagement that we were having in the past. So we can the investors can come freely and discuss with our Sri Lankan businessmen, and then start investing in the country. So that's how that's what we are expecting in the next couple of years to build Sri Lanka.
Mr. Abhisinghe, before we let you go, sir, one last question. There is a tourism boom in Sri Lanka. What places would you recommend people visit?
Oh, actually, we are now thinking to expand the tourist destinations, because we have a very good tourist arrival for the southern part of Sri Lanka, but still the eastern part of Sri Lanka, we do have the same the coastal area, and then we can still promote the people, the visitors visiting the eastern area, and also internally. In the mid country, we have this tea estate areas, and when you go to the north central province, you have the ancient cities, and when someone go to the Sabaragamu province, we have this gem mining business. So there are so many areas that we can make sure that the visitors will be interested in the years to come. And we have to expand our ports. We have 2 airports, but Mattala airports is not functioning well. So we have to improve that. Utilization of the Mattala airport too. So, and then we are now working to expand the other ports also. So certainly we are preparing the ground to receive more visitors for the country during next couple of years to improve the tourist industry in the country.
All right, Mr. Abhisinghe, thank you so much for joining us on NewsX with your thoughts and perspective. Meanwhile, joining me on the broadcast is Malinda Seneviratne, Sri Lankan journalist, Sumit Peer, political commentator, and Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, former diplomat, with us as well. Let me begin this conversation with Malinda Seneviratne. Malinda Seneviratne, what in your assessment will be the major outcomes of this visit of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Sri Lanka?
Well, this is Prime Minister Modi's 4th visit to Sri Lanka, and during that time we have had 4 presidents, 4 different governments, and with only continuing thread is Prime Minister Modi and his policy objective neighborhood first. So I would expect continuity in that sense. By and large, Sri Lankan governments have always tended to have friendly relations with India for many reasons, but especially for economic reasons. So what we expect is continued engagement. Regarding the specifics, we need to know there's been talk of a lot of agreements that are going to be signed during Prime Minister Modi's visit, but no one has seen this. So until we actually see what has been signed, we can't really, speculate. There's no point in speculating about it. But friendly relations is, of course, always a positive thing. Except, of course, there are a lot of platitudes. Friendship is a word that is thrown around so often, we really wonder. But there's been no real reason to be concerned. The last, since 2015, which was the first time that Prime Minister Modi visited Sri Lanka. But let's see what happens.
At the same time, Mr. Seneviratne, what are some of the crucial areas that Sri Lanka hopes India could possibly assist with in terms of some sort of a boom? Tourism, of course, is one. What are some of the other sectors?
Well, Mr. Abhisinghe talked about investment. so trade and investment on the financial side, but depends on what the rules are. We are living in a world where the entire global tariff system is being challenged. The WTO rules are like thrown out of the window. All of a sudden, the biggest player, United States of America, is essentially promoting protectionism. So how do we, quite apart from the economic woes that Sri Lanka has, we'll have all these countries, including India, will have to deal with those realities. One thing that Mr. Abhay Singh said, which was interesting, is about the stabilization. That actually happened before Amrukumar Dissanayake became the president, but there's continuity there too, which to some would be hopeful. But there was one question I think that you asked about Prime Minister Modi, India's role in the global context, and I think that is a very important question because. See, India shining is a beautiful thing, but South Asia shining is much better, probably more beautiful. And the way ahead where we as a region prosper is we work together, we put aside our differences. We are strong, we are massive, we have massive resources as a region. And India can obviously take the lead. But the success of that kind of wider project will depend on the relations between India and the other countries and the other countries with India and all these countries together. Ideally, of course, South Asia becomes the driving force of the global economy. Ideally, South Asia becomes a peace zone. And for that, we need to sort out certain things that have been blocking that kind of initiative.
Right, Mr. Malinda Seneviratne, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast and on NewsX with your thoughts and perspective. Let me also bring in Sumit Peer at this point in time. Sumit, I want to understand from you the role that India can play as far as this region is concerned. We've already given a glimpse of what India envisions at BIMSTEC, but how exactly do you feel India will be able to navigate the challenges that are posed by China in this particular region?
First of all, Devikaji, thank you very much for having me on your show. A very interesting topic today. I want to put some things in perspective so the viewers can understand where we are. Look, Sri Lanka always had a beautiful, friendly and the brotherly relation with India. But there were some people with vested interests and influenced by China who upset the apple cart. Sri Lanka reached a situation where it failed as an economy. Inflation reached 70% and there was no leaders. They all went away. Now, at that point of time, China did not come and help Sri Lanka. We have helped Sri Lanka with $4 billion. Not only $4 billion, we're giving them credit line, giving them economic impetus, giving goods to their markets, doing every possible thing. And what our friend from Sri Lanka was saying, 4 presidents changed, but Prime Minister Modi's position and his will and his intentions vis-a-vis Sri Lanka were same. It didn't matter whoever comes to power, is it from a right wing or a left wing or a central wing. But from Modi ji, it was not the issue. It was, I want the people of Sri Lanka to be self-reliant and as soon as possible. Now, if you're caught in between this tango of India and China, honestly, you're caught in between. I don't know how to say it. You're caught between the elephants, I would say, rather than the people of Sri Lanka should decide where their long-term future is. Look, today inflation is 5%. If I look at the tourist revenue, $3.17 billion, it used to be around $4 billion pre-COVID, 25 million of population, $74 billion of GDP. Now, if I do some analysis of everything, there is one thing which I have been always advising to my brothers and sisters in Sri Lanka. Look, your president might have a left leaning or whatever. Your China fantasy is only going to do and doom the country, what has happened to Pakistan and what has happened to all those countries who have taken Chinese money. But your money with India, your relation with India is going to prosper and blossom the country. That is my first take. What you can do is what we are talking right now. We are talking of energy pact. We are talking of first ever defense pact. And the biggest thing is open up. Get your economy integrated with the Indian economy. If you get your economy integrated with the Indian economy, I can tell you, Devikaji, this is the insurance of Sri Lanka, Sri Lankan people. Because then your economy is integrated with Indian economy. We don't believe in siphoning. We don't believe in money lending. We don't lend money at 8% interest and, take your airports and seaports. We don't want to do that. We have 2 points of contention. Don't let Chinese ships dock there. I'll be very candid. And There are some issues with the Tamil fishermen which are facing some problems. We want those to be sorted out. Minus that, we love Sri Lankans, we love them, and if we are able to give them the defense pact, energy is sorted out, economy is sorted out, that's it. Pretty much we are sailing up and running, brothers and sisters.
All right. I also have with me Major Sanjay Mester. Major Sanjay Mester, before I come to you, I want to just quickly get in a word from Ambassador Prabhu Dayal as well. Ambassador Prabhu Dayal, from in your perspective, how exactly do you feel India will now... Okay, we seem to have lost our connection. But Major Sanjay Meston, there is some chatter about a possible defense pact between India and Sri Lanka. What could that possibly look like in your assessment?
Devika, good evening. Firstly, as regards Indian and Sri Lankan defense cooperation is concerned, or rather between the two armies, it has been existing since very long time. And I recollect when I was a commando instructor, we had many Sri Lankans training under us in Belgaum. And after that, I recollect the same officer has attended total 6 courses in India, and he happened to become a major general and also command their special operations division. So what I'm trying to say is that India has been training a lot of Sri Lankan officers. We have been doing bilateral exercises, Mitra Shakti in case of the army. That is, 1 year it is in India and the other year it is in Sri Lanka. We have naval exercises. We have a far number of good cooperation in every manner. And rather now I feel, the framework of defense cooperation is going to be enhanced. I think it is going to be under one single entity. Maybe probably it may be directly under the CDS or maybe under the Defense Secretary. As it is, we have some kind of a annual defense dialogue at the Defense Secretary level. But I think it will be more formalized. I think there is an awakening between India and Sri Lanka that defense cooperation is essential. Firstly, we have common security concerns. There is maritime concerns. You are aware what is happening in the Red Sea and all these Houthi rebels, and of course the frequent hijacking by these Somalis. So all these kind of things are going on in the Indian Ocean. Our security concerns are there. The same country, Sri Lanka, has battled an insurgency for about 3 decades, and we are aware as to how they had to fight. So they have got good ground knowledge about, I would say, the terrain and understanding how the Indian Defence Forces is also fighting. And I recollect many of their officers also train in our jungle warfare school in Warrington. So perhaps counter-terrorism. Sri Lanka has also had a lot of issues on terrorism. So counter-terrorism, intelligence cooperation, logistics, defense deals in terms of giving them equipment, military hardware. Now we are also exporting, so we will understand what Sri Lankans demand, of course. So I think it will be overall very comprehensive, and visits, goodwill visits are always there between the chiefs, and at all appropriate levels we have defense attaches there. Their defense attaches are posted there. So I think it's going to have a multi-encompassing all the facets, including the army, the navy, the air force, the coast guard. All possible elements are there, going to be there. So it will be a complete package, and this will set the ball rolling. Right now it is, of course, there. Defense cooperation has been going on. I told you many of their officers come and train in India. Some of them even do the National Defense College. But perhaps now it will be more streamlined. It will be monitored, perhaps maybe even by the PMO office, because it will give an impetus. And today the realization, I think I would take one statement by Mr. Abhay Singh. He stated one thing, that India is the most helpful country. And I think the second speaker was also telling, South Asia should bloom. Yes, South Asia should bloom. But where's the problem? The problem is 2 countries like Pakistan, and they are not trying to dissuade Bangladesh also away from or take them back to their folds of. So this is what all these kind of things are happening. But there are countries like Bhutan, like Nepal. We were the first responders recent in the earthquake to Myanmar and of course to Thailand. And we have helped Sri Lanka during the economic crisis. We gave them $4 billion for a bailout. So what I'm trying to say is that India is a country which has got no designs. We have got very, very good designs of having good cultural, historical, civilizational relationship. We have never meant we have never shown an aggressiveness or any kind of designs to anyone. You know what is happening now today, America is talking about 51st state to Canada. India has always been looking after its neighbors very well. But somehow some of the neighbors start feeling, you know, we are a big powerful country, we are a big country, and therefore, you know, I think they lack the trust. So these people have to understand that India is a well-meaning nation. We want to be friends with everyone around, including, I think, our Prime Minister had made a very bold initiative of getting all the Prime Ministers, Presidents of the neighboring countries, including Pakistan. And thereafter, he had also been to Pakistan on a visit. So we have been taking initiative. I think the trust factor is lacking from some of them, and it is high time that they start realizing. And I think maybe because of that good relationship which we have with Sri Lanka, the fact that Prime Minister is the first foreign head to visit Sri Lanka with the new establishment, and Mr. Desani, he had come to India also in December. So this shows the growing trust between Sri Lanka and India, and therefore the defense cooperation now surely would be under a much better framework, and it will be coordinated very well between both the countries. Devika.
Right, absolutely. I thank both of our guests for joining us on the broadcast. With that perspective, we leave it there and step into a very, very quick break. We'll be coming live from Sri Lanka on the other side.